Hey, my Jujubes, welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing today? It was just a hassle trying to set this camera up today, y'all. So please forgive me. It's Friday, guys, and I'm so excited that it's Friday. Cheers to the weekend. I got a glass of wine today. If you are new here, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I would love you so much for it. Don't forget to hit the post notification bell so you can be notified every time a video is uploaded. Today I have, okay, I still got a little heat. Today I have some homemade Cajun shrimp pasta, okay? And I was hoping that it was still hot because it took me so long to set up. But I just got angel hair noodles and some shrimp, some Cajun seasoning I used. And I tore it down. So how are you guys doing today on this Friday? I am going to dive in a little bit, take a couple bites, but oh, this is good. If you are new here, we have been discussing ethic, my favorite series in the Ashley series. It's my favorite series, okay? So sorry, I'm trying to fix my shirt. I love him so, okay? Today we are on book 3. Now, book 2 ended with Alani losing Love, their baby, and him being sad at her for keeping that pregnancy from him. So we just gonna jump right in from there. So sorry, so I'm stuck in my tooth. So book 3. That's my thumbnail I'm trying to do, y'all. Book 3. Sorry. So book 3 is, it starts out with Ethic in his tailor-made suit, tailor-fitted suit, at this deserted place. And he is got Nina Simone playing in the background. And he is in the process of terminating Cream. I'm talking about a full-blown torture session, okay? Not like a 1, 2, 3 go. I'm talking about a hang you in the meat locker, disfigure your body type of session. And he told him, he said, I don't know why men like you try to go to war with a man like me. I told you before what the consequences were and the repercussions were of you dealing with me and mine. And you just refused to believe that fat meat was greasy, basically. So he told him he was a coward for pushing Alani off that 2-story balcony. And if he really wanted revenge, he should have came to see him. He said, I told you she belonged to me and you shouldn't have been bothering her. So he basically said, and since you didn't listen, here is your consequence. So he stayed in this place with Cream until Cream was no more, until all of the blood in Cream's body was gone. Or was out enough for him to know that there was no more life in Cream. He came out and he gave the money to Basil for Basil allowing him to use his space. And Basil was like, nah, you know, ain't no favors amongst gentlemen. And Esther told him, like, I appreciate you for allowing me to use your space. I know he'll be taken care of properly. Basil said he absolutely will. He'll be good food for the hogs. So Basil, he bred African like hogs. So Ethic knew that there was no way that any remains of Cream would be found. So he probably spent, I'm gonna say, like a day and a half to 2 days in here trying to rectify the situation that he feels like he needed to rectify with Cream. And sorry, I hope that noise ain't bothering nobody. So he finally goes home after everything is said and done, and Bella is kind of on pins and needles at this point, because remember, just two days ago, that's when she rushed to tell him that what was going on with Alani and that she needed help, and he went over there to help her, and him going over there to help her, this is what came of that situation. So he hasn't been home. He hasn't seen Bella. She's kind of been at home. Not kind of been home, but she's been at home in the care of a Lily, which Lily is the nanny. And he walks in and Easy's in the living room. Easy is kind of like Ethics calm. Even though he hyped. With everything that's going on, he's bringing a little peace to Ethic right now. So, he's like, hey, big man. He's like, hey, Dad. He's like, can you go to your room for a minute? I need to talk to your sister. And he's like, okay. He's like, but can you build my volcano with me later on? And he's like, yeah, I can. He's like, we're going to be spending a lot more time together lately, because Ethic feels like some kind of way he has let his kids get away from him in the process of him trying to love and unlove Alani all at the same time. So he goes to his room, and Bella, being the sweet girl she is, and, you know, she's hurt and she's trying to figure out, you know, what's happened to Alani or whatever. So she was like, you don't want to spend no time with me no more, huh? Because I lied. And he was like, Bella, I always want to spend all the time that I can spend with you. I want to spend every extra amount of time that I have with you, but I am disappointed that you kept such a secret from me. And she was like, well, Alani asked me not to. She was like, I couldn't break her trust. He was like, so break mine. Now, Bella is in desperate yearning for a mother. Okay, her mother is deceased, just like Easy's mom. They have two different dads. Melanie was what's her name? Bella's mom, and Raven is Easy's mom. And so she's motherless too. And so her yearning for a mom Alani came in and unknowingly sparked something in Bella. And now Bella is like yearning for that because Alani gives it to her naturally. It's organic. It's not forced. It's not something that she has to beg Alani for. It's just something natural that Alani has. So she didn't want to ruin that. She felt like this was her opportunity to have a mother, and she didn't want to ruin it by messing up the bond that her and Alani were building. It was wrong of Alani, though, to ask her to keep such a secret like that. It really was. That's a lot of burden to put on a 12-year-old. So he was like, I get it, but I'm disappointed in you. And she was like, I couldn't break her trust. And I need her, basically. She was like, it's hard for me to be with Alani or be attached to Alani without her thinking of you. So I was trying to build my own relationship with her outside of you so that it wasn't like everything is attached to you. I was trying to separate us, but still be able to be a part of Alani's world. And he was like, it was wrong of her to ask you that. And she shouldn't have. And you shouldn't have kept that type of secret, because how can I keep you safe? Excuse me, guys. How can I keep you safe if I don't know the dynamics of everything that's going on over there? Mind you, Bella was spending days over there. She spent the night for Christmas. Like, she was spending a lot of time over there. And so, like, he was telling her, imagine if he came back and tried to hurt you while you was there. Like, I wouldn't have even known he was a threat because nobody even told me what was going on over there. And so she's like, well, is she okay? Is Alani okay? And he's like, no, she's not, Bella. She's not. And she was like, well, what happened? And he was like, the baby didn't make it. And she instantly was like crying, heartbroken. He let her have a little moment. And she was like, well, we need to go. Like, we need to go see about her. We need to go over there and check on her because I know she has to be sad. And he was like, yeah, she is, but we're not going. Like, we're not going over there. And you can't see her anymore because it's just too much. So Bella's like, I'm sorry. Please don't do this. I didn't mean to break your trust. Please don't be mad at me, but please don't stop me from seeing her. And he's like, I have to because it's too much. Like, he's saying to himself, like, they done drew a line in the sand and he on the other side. Her and Alani has pledged allegiance to each other. And they left him out. And then leaving him out, now we have a baby that is deceased, and it's just too much. So she was crying. She done yelled and told him that she hates him, and you just don't want her to love me because she don't want to be with you. It was a whole drawn out affair. So he let her have her moment. She got the throwing stuff in her room with the door closed, and he was like, I understand because I feel the same way. Like, I feel the same way. I can't have her. And I'm heartbroken just like you, but it is what it is. Like, at this moment, we have to be separate. We can't be together. So Alani is at the funeral home again for the third burial. I'm getting forward. She's at the funeral home planning their arrangements. And so the guy at the funeral home is like, Mr. Okafor called and he said that he's going to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. You don't have to worry about any expenses or anything like that. I hate this because my neck looks weird. I know y'all like, quit doing that. Sorry. You don't have to take care of any expenses. The expenses are covered. Mr. Okafor has taken care of all of it. He got a family plot where he wants the baby to be. And she's like, oh, my son is going to be buried next to his sister. I don't care what Mr. Okafor said. If he wants to pick out a plot, then he should be here and he should help me do this. And so she's like, my son is not going over there. He's going to stay where his sister is. And so he's like, okay, well, let me just make a couple. She was like, and if that's a problem, I can take my business elsewhere. He was like, it's fine, let me make a couple of calls and everything is fine. So I guess he must have went in the back and called Ethic, and Ethic told them whatever she wants to do it, like with no argument about it. So she comes back out and strike the nerve of him in her mind. Strike the nerve of him to try to say what he want to do, and he got me here doing this by myself. Now, they both are resentful to each other. She lied, kept a pregnancy, the baby died. He did what he did to her daughter. Like, it's just too much. So, no, I'm not coming to the funeral home with you, baby. I'm not. I love you, but I ain't coming. And then you lied to me. Not only did you lie to me, now I had to witness the death of my baby. My baby came out blue, not breathing. I'm not going to be able to do that with you today. Alani, sweetie, I'm not. So, she does the planning of it or whatever. She doesn't want to make a big debacle about it because she just feels like this is the second baby I've had to bury, and I'm just not in the mood to do any more of this. So she does something simple. She pick out the casket. She goes home. She just leave it as it is. Nanny, of course, is getting better because surprisingly, Nanny was the one who called the ambulance and told them that something had happened to her niece or whatever. So she goes home, and then the next day is the funeral. So they go to the funeral. She has like a small memorial service, and Ethic is trying to get up enough nerve to actually go to the memorial service. Now he got his suit laid out, he done grew his beard out, because he's stressed out, okay? He's stressed out between his daughter and Alani and losing that baby and losing the love of his life. He's stressed out. So he's like, getting ready, putting on his Tom Ford black suit because it's just that kind of day. And he has Love's little hat, the little hat that they wear in his pocket, as motivation, keep him close to his son. He got a driver for the day because he just felt like it's going to be too much emotionally for him. So he finally gets himself ready. He put on a watch, put on the one little, no necklace because he got to be, sharp as a tack in grown man status, as he calls it. And no ring, because he said the only ring he'll wear is a wedding ring, and he just don't foresee that in his future. So he gets ready, he gets in the car, and the driver takes him to the burial site. Alani's there. She's not really like hysterically crying, but she's crying, of course. She's there by herself. Everybody around her is kind of like people of the church, not really people that she knows or anyone that she really shares relationship with or whatever. So she's thinking in her mind, like, where is he? Like, I need him here. I cannot do this by myself. He's always been here to replenish me when I don't have any more or anything else left to give. So where is he at today? Like, today of all days is the day that I need him here, and he's not here. So she sits there for a minute. The memorial service goes. They hug her. She gets ready to leave, and she kind of like has a breakdown. She stumbles across a headstone, and it's so crazy because it happens to be Raven's headstone, but I don't think she notices or knows it, but as she lets us know that it's Raven's. And he sees her because she walks right in front of the limousine or the car that he's in, but he doesn't get out because he is deplenished. He doesn't have anything to even replenish her. And he feels like, as a man, I'm supposed to be able to replenish her. I'm supposed to be able to pour back into her. But today I'm empty. So I can't even get out because I have nothing else to offer her. I have nothing to fill her back up with. So I'm just going to watch her. And he was like, even in her situation that she's in right now, even in her misery, even in her unraveling, she is still beautiful. And so she gets in her car. He gets out because the driver asked him, like, are you going to get out, sir? Because, like, we've been sitting here for a long time. And so Ethic gets out and he goes to the little casket. You know, he's like, casket said he's supposed to be this little. And he goes over there and he the guys come to, put the rest of the dirt. He like, I buried my own son. And so he buried his son and he cried a bit, told him I love you, boy. And he went on and he left. So that was heavy for Ethic, losing a baby, and not even being able to experience anything prior to the death of the baby. So that's heavy for him. So this is another one of his unraveling moments. And I feel like this time he might have went to Raven's gravesite and he might have cried there. Because I think he might have went there. I got the times wrong, but he went there to her grave and unraveled there. But it was right after him leaving Cream, prior to him going back to Bella at the beginning. But he had a moment of undoing. And so the next day is Bella's debutante ball. And so he gets ready and he goes into her room. He knocks on her door. He opens it up. He says how beautiful she is and how long they've been waiting for it. And this particular moment kind of signifies Bella going from being a child or adolescent to a preteen and going into her womanhood. And he just has this chip on his shoulder, like my baby's growing up. And, she's not a little baby anymore. And then eventually somebody going to come and try to soup her away from me. So while I have her, I have to love on her and embrace the fact that she's still my baby, even though she's not my baby anymore. So he goes in there and he says, hey, Bella. And she's like, hey, Dad. She really doesn't want to go because she feels like she doesn't want to she doesn't have a mom. And with Alani not being there for her anymore, she doesn't want to participate. She feels like, Daddy, why are you making me do this? Why are you making me go and you know that I don't have a mom? And he's like, I'm going to stand in the gap for you regardless of what goes on. Whether you have a mom or not, I'll always be here. So you just going to have to take me and all this handsomeness up there, as you go through this journey in your life. But we're not missing it because this is very pivotal in you growing up. And so he goes into her room, and I'm going to stop after I give y'all this, but he goes into her room and there is something that she recites all the time that he taught her. And I really want to read this because I think it is one of the most beautiful things I've read. And I think that it's something that all little girls should know. I tell my daughter to read it all the time now since I've come across this. But he said, I need to hear you say it. What are you? And she's like, oh, Daddy, like, I don't want to talk about this, or I don't want to recite this. And he said, I just need to make sure that you know. And so she says, I am woman, and woman is beautiful. We are expected to be beautiful, so I will be what people don't expect. They don't expect intelligence. They don't expect grace. I am strong, and even when others have the ability to physically overpower me, mentally, I am stronger. I am a queen on a throne, and a place next to me must be earned. When I find my king, his power doesn't erase my own. My crown is not a man's to repossess. I was born in regality. I am kind, but naivety does not dwell within me. I am a woman. I am the origin. Everything begins and ends with me. No man is worthy of my worth. I cannot be bought. I will not sell myself short. I do not give discounts. I am woman. I demand respect. I respect my dignity. My presence is a revocable gift. Rented with effort and good intention. I am woman. Now, I don't know where this came from, and I'm not even sure, where it originated from, but I felt like that was really powerful of him to give to his baby. But that is what he had her recite before she goes to the debutante ball. So She gets dressed, she gets ready, she goes, he walks her down the stairs. She got these 3-inch heels on that he is just so upset about, but she begged him to get her some. And in the process, Morgan calls him and tells him, like, oh, I got a flat tire. Messiah's just going to bring me to the church. And he's like, oh, I don't like that. Even though he gave her Messiah's number in the case of an emergency, he just felt like, something a little sketchy about that. This sounds like a date, even though Messiah was invited. So they get dressed. He opens up the door. He gets her in her, because she's in a beautiful white gown with a tiara on, whichever we call it. And she gets into the car and they go to the church. When they get inside, Alicia, which is the church, 304, she's the church, she tells him, like, I'm pretty sure that we all would have been so happy. They greet him like, how you doing? He's like, hey. And she was like, well, as much as we were all looking forward to seeing you and all your handsomeness stand up there with Bella, you don't have to anymore. And he like, huh? And before he can answer, Bella's like, Alani! And so she sees Alani and she takes off running to her inside of the room. So he like, excuse me, 1 second, like, I gotta make a beeline to the love of my life, okay? Now they haven't seen each other. I think it's like 2 months later from Love's funeral, when the debutante ball took place. They haven't seen each other. And he like, what are you doing here? And she was like, just because you're a liar don't mean that I am one. I told her I was going to be here, a motherless daughter and a motherless child, and I'm a childless mother. So I'm going to be here for her because I told her I would be. And he was like, it's much appreciated. But I'm not even going to fight with you right now because this is about my daughter. But Alani showed up for her so that she could do the debutante ball with Alani, which I thought was the sweetest thing in the world, because even though I'm at odds with your father and I don't really like him right now, I am woman enough to keep my word so that I don't break the heart of a little girl who heart is already broken for so many different reasons. So I just take off my hat to Alani for that, because I loved her in that moment. Like, Alani, you know what? You the real MVP, because I don't know if I would have been able to do it. I would hope that I would be strong enough to do something like that. And I would hope that I would be graceful enough to handle it the way she did. But, hey, Alani was the real MVP for me on that. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And then I'm going to pick up tomorrow with the rest of Ethic. Ethic 3 is like, I think, one of my favorites in the series. It's very pivotal. It kind of like, the energy shifts in the book in both sets of relationships between Morgan and Messiah and Alani and Ethic. So I love Ethic 3. I love the entire series, but Ethic 3 is kind of my favorite. 3 and 6, I think, are kind of my favorite. I kind of don't want to pick because I love the whole series, but if I had to pick, I would have to pick 3, and I think 6 is my favorite. So I will be back tomorrow to continue talking about Ethic 3. So please come back and see me tomorrow, same place, maybe not the same time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye, my jujubes.